Salt Lake City sits in a high desert valley in northern Utah, wedged between the Great Salt Lake to the northwest and the Wasatch Mountains rising sharply to the east. The city proper holds just under 200,000 people, but the surrounding metro area is home to roughly 1.3 million. Stretch that out along the Wasatch Front, the urban corridor running north to south, and the combined population reaches about 2.8 million. It sits at an elevation of around 1,290 meters, or 4,200 feet, so the air is thin, dry, and clear. That dry mountain air is central to the city's identity because the nearby peaks catch the light, powdery snow that built a world-class ski industry. Salt Lake is best understood as a base camp, a compact and walkable downtown ringed by mountains, lakes, and several national parks within driving reach. For most travelers, the city itself is a 2-day stop, paired with several more days in the canyons, at the ski resorts, or on road trips south. It suits outdoor-minded travelers first. Skiers, hikers, cyclists, and national park road trippers get the most out of a base here. It also works for a certain kind of culture traveler, drawn to Temple Square, the Symphony, and a surprisingly deep bench of museums. The real drawback is that Salt Lake is spread out and car-centric. Outside the downtown core, you will want a vehicle for most things. Utah's alcohol laws are also stricter than most of the country, so the bar and nightlife scene is quieter than a city this size suggests. The payoff is access. Few American cities put an international airport, a real downtown, and serious mountain terrain this close together. The city is also cleaner, cheaper, and less crowded than the coastal metros travelers tend to compare it against. If you want mountains and a genuine city in the same trip without paying Denver or Seattle prices, Salt Lake earns a hard look. Salt Lake City International Airport sits just 7 kilometers, about 4 miles, northwest of downtown, making it one of the closest major airports to a city center in the country. It is a major hub with over 100 non-stop destinations, so fares stay competitive, and domestic one-ways can dip to $50 or $60 on busy routes. The standout detail is the train. The TRAX Green Line light rail runs straight from the airport terminal into downtown. That ride takes about 20 to 25 minutes and costs $2.50, one of the best airport transit deals in the western United States. A taxi or rideshare covers the same trip in 15 to 20 minutes for roughly $15 to $30, depending on demand. If you are driving in, Salt Lake sits at a crossroads of interstates, with Interstate 15 running north to south and Interstate 80 running east to west. Las Vegas is about 6 hours south by car, while Denver is a longer haul east, around 8 to 9 hours over the Rockies. Boise, Idaho, sits roughly 5 hours north, and the drive up from the national parks in southern Utah takes 4 to 5 hours. Once you arrive, the key verdict is simple. A car is helpful in the city, and for most trips beyond downtown, effectively required. Downtown itself is very walkable, carrying a walk score around 60, with most hotels, restaurants, and Temple Square inside a flat, easy grid. That grid is a gift for navigation. Streets are numbered outward from Temple Square, so an address tells you exactly how far you are from the center. But the city was built wide. Blocks are unusually large, and outside the core, distances stretch quickly and sidewalks thin out. The public transit backbone is the Utah Transit Authority, which runs 3 TRAX light rail lines through the valley. A single ride is $2.50 and a day pass is $5, with TRAX linking the airport, downtown, and the university cleanly. There's also Frontrunner, a commuter train running the length of the Wasatch Front, useful for reaching Ogden or Provo without a car. Buses fill the gaps, but coverage thins in the suburbs and frequency drops on weekends, so plan around the published schedule. Rideshare through Uber and Lyft is widely available and reliable, a solid fallback for canyon trailheads or late nights when the trains stop. For the ski resorts, dedicated canyon buses run in winter, so you can reach Alta or Snowbird without driving icy mountain roads yourself. If you do drive, downtown parking is easy and cheap by big city standards, with garages and metered street parking widely available. Confirm current transit fares before you travel, since single operator prices are set by policy and can change from year to year. For most visitors, choosing where to stay in Salt Lake City is simpler than in most cities because downtown concentrates nearly everything worth being near. Downtown is the default pick. It puts you within a flat walk of Temple Square, City Creek Shopping, the Convention Center, and the TRAX lines. Hotel rates here are reasonable for a state capital, with mid-range rooms averaging around $120 a night. Budget options run near $85, while the upscale tier, including the Grand Hotels, generally sits around $165 and up. The advantage of downtown is obvious. You can arrive by train and never touch a car until you leave for the mountains. The drawback is that downtown Salt Lake empties out after work hours, so evenings can feel quiet compared to a coastal city center. The two Grand Hotels downtown, the Grand America and Little America, are destinations in their own right and anchor the upscale end. For loyalty collectors, downtown is well stocked with Marriott, Hilton, Hyatt, and IHG properties, plus a Kimpton for the boutique tier. Just north, Capitol Hill and the Avenues offer a quieter, historic residential feel below the state capitol, with tree-lined streets and bed and breakfasts. The Avenues trade nightlife for character and calm, sitting about a 15-minute walk or a short drive from the downtown core. To the south, Sugar House is the other strong pick, a walkable, independent neighborhood built around a park with local cafes and breweries. Sugar House feels more like where locals actually live, and TRAX connects it back to downtown in under 15 minutes. The trade-off is distance. You are further from Temple Square and the Convention Center, so it suits longer stays over quick city visits. For couples, downtown or the Avenues balance convenience and atmosphere, while families tend to do best with downtown's larger hotels and pools. Budget travelers should look at Sugar House or the airport corridor, while solo skiers often base downtown for the easy canyon bus access. There is no zone you must avoid outright, but the blocks around the old Rio Grande Depot west of downtown see more visible homelessness, so lean east of there. Salt Lake City rewards a traveler who treats the city and the mountains as one trip, with a couple of downtown days bracketing time in the canyons. The anchor attraction is Temple Square, the 10-acre headquarters of the LDS Church at the exact center of the city's grid. It is free to enter and open to anyone, and its grounds, gardens, and historic buildings draw over 3 million visitors a year. The Salt Lake Temple itself is closed to non-members, but the surrounding square, the visitor centers, and the historic tabernacle are open to all. Next to it, the conference center is a striking modern hall seating 21,000 with a rooftop garden and free guided tours. For the city's best free view, head up to Ensign Peak, where a short half-mile trail climbs to a panorama over the entire valley. The real outdoor pull, though, is the canyons. Big and Little Cottonwood canyons rise straight out of the valley's eastern edge. In under an hour from downtown, you can be at a trailhead or a ski lift at Alta, Snowbird, Brighton, or Solitude. These resorts market the lightest, driest powder in North America, and decades of snowfall data broadly back the claim up. In summer, the same canyons become hiking and cycling country, with alpine lakes and wildflower meadows a short drive from the city. Closer in, Red Butte Garden climbs the foothills by the university, with over 100 acres of gardens and a popular summer concert series. Admission runs around $14, and the garden doubles as a trailhead into the foothills directly above the city. For a stranger landscape, drive out to Antelope Island in the Great Salt Lake, about 45 minutes northwest of downtown. The island is a state park with free-roaming bison and antelope, delivering the lake's eerie, mirror-like scenery and wide-open salt flats. On the museum front, the Natural History Museum of Utah is the standout, set in a striking copper-clad building above the city. Its collection of dinosaur fossils, drawn from Utah's rich fossil beds, is genuinely world-class, and the building itself is worth the trip. Adult admission sits in the low to mid-20s, so confirm current pricing at the museum before you go. Downtown, the Church History Museum and the nearby Cathedral of the Madeleine are both free and each easily worth an hour. For something offbeat, the Land Cruiser Heritage Museum holds the world's largest collection of Toyota Land Cruisers, a quiet cult favorite rated near perfect by visitors. On the performing arts side, the Eccles Theater downtown hosts touring Broadway productions in a sleek, glass-fronted hall. The Utah Symphony and Ballet West perform at Abravanel Hall, and the family-run Hale Center Theater draws some of the strongest reviews in the city. Families have real options here. Tracy Aviary in Liberty Park is a compact, well-loved bird park easy to pair with a picnic. Hogle Zoo, set against the eastern foothills, is the city's full-size zoo and an easy half-day out with kids. Thanksgiving Point, about 30 minutes south, packs a dinosaur museum, gardens, and a butterfly biosphere into a single family complex. For outdoor-focused travelers, 2 well-planned days in the city bracket the mountains nicely. Day 1 starts early with the drive up Little Cottonwood Canyon, hiking or skiing through the middle of the day depending on the season. Come down in the afternoon for a late lunch in Sugar House, then finish with the short Ensign Peak climb at Golden Hour. Day 2 heads out to Antelope Island in the morning for the Bison Loop and Salt Flats, allowing about 3 hours with the drive. Return by early afternoon for Red Butte Garden and the Foothill Trails. Then close with dinner downtown near Temple Square. For culture and museum travelers, the city fills 2 unhurried days without ever needing a car. Day 1 opens at Temple Square when the grounds open, giving 2 hours for the gardens, the tabernacle, and the conference center. Walk 10 minutes to the Church History Museum before lunch downtown, then spend the afternoon at the Natural History Museum of Utah. Cap the evening with a touring show at the Eccles Theater or a symphony performance at Abravanel Hall. Day 2 begins at the Utah State Capitol on the Hill, whose marble halls and grounds are free and open to walk through. From there, stroll the historic avenues down to the Cathedral of the Madeleine, then finish with the Land Cruiser Museum if you want something odd. Families can build 2 relaxed days that mix animals, science, and open space. Day 1 pairs Tracy Aviary in the morning with a Liberty Park picnic, then Hogle Zoo or the splash pads through the afternoon. Day 2 drives 30 minutes to Thanksgiving Point for the Dinosaur Museum and Butterfly Biosphere, an easy and full day for younger kids. Beyond the city, Salt Lake is the gateway to Utah's national parks, though none of them are realistic day trips. Arches and Moab sit about 4 hours south, and Zion is a similar drive southwest, both better as an overnight extension. Park City, home of the Sundance Film Festival, is only 40 minutes east, an easy day trip for its main street and slopes. In winter, the whole trip reorganizes around skiing, and the resorts become the main event rather than a side excursion. In summer, the same terrain shifts to hiking, mountain biking, and canyon drives, with long daylight and cool evenings up at altitude. Book ski resort lift tickets and any Sundance screenings well ahead, since both sell out during their peak weeks. Salt Lake City's food scene is better and more distinctive than its reputation suggests, shaped by both Mormon pioneer cooking and a growing immigrant population. The single strongest category is Mexican food. The city's Mexican kitchens are deep, authentic, and consistently the highest-rated restaurants in town. The most famous of them draws hour-long waits for its mole, a nationally recognized dish well worth planning a meal around. Utah also has a real set of local specialties you will not find framed quite this way anywhere else. Start with fry sauce, a pink blend of ketchup and mayonnaise that Utahns put on burgers and fries almost by default. The pastrami burger is another local signature, a cheeseburger topped with thin sliced pastrami, best known through the Crown Burger shops. Then, there is dirty soda, a Utah phenomenon of fountain drinks mixed with syrups, cream, and fruit, sold at drive-through soda shops. It grew directly out of the state's low-alcohol culture, and locals treat these soda shops the way other cities treat coffee bars. On the sweet side, look for Utah scones, which are pillowy squares of fried dough served warm with honey butter, not the British kind. Funeral potatoes, a cheesy hash brown casserole named for its role at church gatherings, is the quintessential Utah comfort dish. The coffee and bakery scene is surprisingly strong, with serious independent cafes and pastry shops spread across the walkable neighborhoods. Despite the liquor laws, craft brewing has taken firm hold, and the city carries a solid bench of local breweries and tap rooms. As for where to eat, the densest clusters sit downtown and across a handful of walkable pockets to the east and south. The 9th and 9th and 15th and 15th districts are compact, independent restaurant rows that are popular with locals. The Granary District and Central 9th, just southwest of downtown, are the newer, industrial chic food and brewery zones. Sugar House rounds out the map with a mix of cafes, casual restaurants, and breweries clustered around its park. On price, a quick street or counter meal runs about $10, and a casual sit-down lunch lands near $15. Dinner for two at a mid-range restaurant with entrees and a drink runs around $70 before tip. Fine dining exists, but is limited, and a high-end tasting experience for two climbs toward $120 and up. Breakfast is a genuine strength near the hotels, with strong diner and cafe options within an easy walk of downtown. One practical note: because of Utah law, cocktail service can be restricted by time of day, and some restaurants choose to stay alcohol-free. If good coffee, cheap tacos, and quirky local specialties sound appealing, Salt Lake will pleasantly surprise you. Salt Lake City is a mid-priced American city, cheaper than the coastal metros, but not a true budget destination once you add mountain activities. At the budget tier, plan on about $75 per person per day if you keep things lean. That covers a hostel dorm or shared budget room from around $35 to $85, cheap eats, and transit instead of a car. Food at this level means street meals and counter lunches around $10 to $15, plus a grocery run for breakfast. Transit barely moves the budget, since a full day of riding TRAX costs about the price of a single coffee. The moderate tier lands around $125 per person per day, the realistic number for most visitors. That assumes a mid-range hotel near $120 a night, shared or solo, plus one paid attraction daily. Food at this tier means a casual lunch and a sit-down dinner, with dinner for two around $70 total. It also builds in a rental car, which runs about $45 a day for an economy model before gas and parking. The comfortable tier sits near $200 per person per day and up, opening the upscale hotels and fuller days. That covers an upscale room from around $165, restaurant meals without watching the check, and guided activities. The one category that can blow a budget is skiing, since lift tickets at the major resorts now run well over $100 a day. If skiing is the point of the trip, treat it as a separate line item and buy passes in advance to soften the cost. Gas is cheaper than the national average, and downtown parking is inexpensive, so a road trip base here stretches further than on the coasts. To put that in perspective, a typical day in Salt Lake City runs about $125, essentially the same as comparable mid-sized cities like Asheville and San Antonio, and well below the coastal metros. The best time to visit Salt Lake City depends almost entirely on why you are coming, because the city has two distinct peak seasons: winter, roughly December through March, is the ski season, when the resorts and the light Wasatch powder pull travelers from around the world. If you're here to ski, this is the window, with the deepest, most reliable snow usually landing from January into March. The catch in deep winter is air quality. Cold air settles into the valley and traps pollution in what locals call temperature inversions. During a bad inversion in January or February, the downtown air can turn hazy and gray for days at a time. Summer, June through August, is the other peak, driven by national park road trips and long mountain daylight. But summer in the valley is hot and very dry. July and August highs average around 33 to 35 degrees Celsius, the low 90s Fahrenheit. Temperatures above 40 degrees Celsius, over 100 Fahrenheit, are common. So summer sightseeing means early starts and afternoon shade. The mountains stay cooler though, so summer works well if you spend the hot afternoons up in the canyons. For most travelers, the shoulder seasons are the sweet spot, since late spring and early fall bring the best balance of weather and calm. In April and May, daytime highs climb from the low teens into the low 20s Celsius, the 60s and 70s Fahrenheit. September and October are arguably the single best window, with warm days, cool nights, and the foothills turning gold. Fall highs sit in the low 20s Celsius, the 70s Fahrenheit, with clear skies and thinner crowds than either peak. Crowds and hotel rates both drop in the shoulder months, so you trade almost nothing for a much easier visit. A few events are worth timing around. The Sundance Film Festival takes over nearby Park City for 10 days in late January. Pioneer Day, on the 24th of July, is a major Utah holiday with parades and fireworks, a lively but busy time to be in town. The annual Utah Arts Festival fills downtown in late June, one of the larger outdoor arts gatherings in the region. If you want one honest recommendation for a general trip, come in late September when the weather, the light, and the crowds all line up. A few practical details will make a Salt Lake City trip smoother, starting with the things that most surprise first-time visitors. The biggest is Utah's alcohol law. Full-strength beer, wine, and spirits are sold through state-run liquor stores, not ordinary supermarkets. Restaurants and bars can serve drinks, but the rules around ordering are stricter than most states, and some venues stay alcohol-free by choice. Utah also has the country's strictest drunk driving limit at 0.05, so plan your rides carefully if you have been drinking. Altitude is worth a thought. The city sits around 4,200 feet, high enough that some visitors notice the dry air and thinner oxygen. At the ski resorts, elevations climb past 8,000 feet, so give yourself a day to adjust and drink extra water. On safety, Salt Lake is a generally safe city with low violent crime, scoring in the low 60s on common safety indexes. Property crime is the main concern, mostly car break-ins, along with some visible homelessness west of downtown near the old rail depot. Solo travelers, including solo women, generally report feeling comfortable downtown, with the usual nighttime awareness anywhere in a city. The tap water is clean and safe to drink, fed by mountain snowmelt, so a refillable bottle is all you need. Connectivity is easy. The city has strong 4G and good 5G coverage, and every major U.S. carrier works well across the metro. For international visitors, an eSIM from a U.S. carrier is the simplest option, and no VPN is needed for anything here. Payment is entirely card-based. Tap to pay works nearly everywhere, and you rarely need cash beyond a few tips. On tipping, the U.S. norm applies, meaning 18 to 20% at restaurants, a couple of dollars a bag for porters, and a few dollars a night for housekeeping. Salt Lake is also more socially open than its conservative reputation implies, with a visible LGBTQ community and one of the Mountain West's larger pride events. Packing for Salt Lake City is really about the altitude, the dry air, and the big daily temperature swings. Start with layers, the single most useful clothing strategy here across every season. Pack a warm, insulating layer, a light jacket or shell, breathable shirts, and comfortable walking shoes for the flat downtown grid. In winter, add a seriously warm coat, waterproof boots, gloves, and a hat, since valley cold and canyon snow are the real thing. For gear, the dry climate and strong high-altitude sun drive the list more than anything else. Bring a refillable water bottle, high-strength sunscreen, lip balm, and sunglasses, all of which you will use daily at this elevation. A small day pack is worth having for canyon hikes and museum days, along with a portable charger for long outings. If you plan to ski, rent the big equipment locally rather than fly with it, but bring your own base layers and warm socks. Finally, pack a good moisturizer, and any dryness aids you rely on, since the desert air is harder on skin than most visitors expect. So, who is Salt Lake City actually for? The clearest fit is the outdoor traveler who wants a real city attached to serious mountains. Anyone whose trip centers on snow, trail, or a long national park road trip loop gets more from this base camp than almost anywhere else. It also lands for culture-first visitors, who find more depth in the museums, the choir, and the stage scene than the city gets credit for. And it rewards the value-minded traveler, offering mountains and a clean, walkable downtown at well below Denver or Seattle prices. Who should think twice? If you want vibrant nightlife and a buzzing late-night city, Utah's alcohol culture will feel muted. And if you refuse to rent a car, the spread-out, car-centric layout will frustrate you the moment you leave the downtown core. But as a launchpad for the mountains, paired with a couple of easy city days, Salt Lake is one of the best value trips in the American West. Come for the access, the clear air of the shoulder seasons, and a downtown that quietly does more than you expect. That's our guide to Salt Lake City, Utah. Everything mentioned is linked in the description below. If you are planning another trip, we have more guides waiting for you. And if you haven't yet, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks so much for watching.